I can't believe it's been 6 months since I made this, well, very temporary repair here on the shed. 6 months ago we had a storm and water was getting inside the solar shed, and that's because this board here has warped, and if I look along there you should be able to see it's now sticking on the outside, and it should be sat behind or in this groove here of the board above, and that means, well, there's a big old gap and water was just running down this surface going straight in here. So I ended up applying some gaffer tape, and I later improved that with 3 layers of gaffer tape, which I've actually stapled in place. And you might just be able to see I've offset the staples on each set of gaffer tape, and that's worked surprisingly well, but it's a little bit ugly and this board now needs replacing. Now I've been out this morning and bought this length of Shiplap, which was quite hard to get hold of, so it wasn't my local DIY store. It's 120 millimeters that way and 12 millimeters that way, not particularly heavy duty, also not treated or kiln dried, but that's the only stuff I could get hold of, and I've had to buy a 2.4 meter length, but obviously it will cut down to size. Now I want to protect this piece of wood before I put it in place, so I'm going to cut it down to size first, stain it or protect it, and then hopefully put it in place. So let's just measure the length, and that's 63 centimeters or 630 millimeters. Okay, so hopefully that's the right length. It looks good. And I've actually ended up cutting 2 of these because I need to replace this board here, but also I've noticed that this one here is doing the same thing, so I might swap that. And I've noticed it is where I've put in screws as well to hold something up on the other side, so perhaps that is my fault. So I will treat these boards with this creosote light brown in colour, which I bought. Hopefully that's enough to do the whole shed. I'll decant some into this margarine tub. I've got an old paintbrush and I'll just get these treated before I look at fitting them. So the creosote is just about dried, but these are obviously going to stick out like a sore thumb, aren't they? So I've managed to dig around in the back of the shed and I found the original fence care that I used here on the shed, so I should be able to colour match these reasonably well with a bit of luck. Okay, that seems to match up a bit better now, doesn't it? Not perfect, but it'll do. So I've managed to remove that panel without damaging the other panels very much, I don't think. I've managed to remove the nails as well, and now you can see why I definitely don't want any water going in this area of the shed. This is the back of my 12-volt solar charge controller panel, and yeah, you don't want any water going in there. It is all DC, not AC, but even so it would corrode contacts and that sort of thing. You can see I've got a little DC to DC converter in there as well, can't you? So now the plan is to try and slide a new panel in, and I think there's enough room behind the door for that. Yet when the door opens it creates this gap, and I'm hoping to be able to slide in my new panel from here. So after a second coat of that stain, I don't think that's looking too bad at all. Using a screwdriver to bang the head of the nails in probably isn't the best solution, but it worked for now. Just one nail in at each end to allow that this board can expand and contract and not split. So yeah, just one for the moment, and I think that's looking pretty good. I don't think I'm going to bother with this one for now. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, comment if you can, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.